There's something unfolding here of which I know not. But how the universe is going to get us there is not our problem. This uncertainty principle, we have to allow for the universe to do its job. We have to allow for God. The uncertainty principle. So the uncertainty principle states that certain pairs of properties of a particle, such as position, where it's at, and momentum, how quickly it comes to us, cannot be precisely measured simultaneously. The more accurately we know one property, the less accurately we know the other. And it's not due to limitations in our measurements, but it's a fundamental characteristic of the quantum world. So what does that tell us? There is inherent uncertainty in the nature of subatomic particles and their behavior. It's a reminder that there are limits to how precisely we can know the behavior of these tiny, tiny building blocks of the universe. What does that mean for us? There's an unpredictability in the fabric of this existence, of this universe. It's an inherent unpredictability. So why do we need to understand that when we set intentions and visualize our desires, there might be an inherent uncertainty in the exact path those desires will take to materialize. It's not that our intentions are ineffective. It's that the universe's unfolding is complex and influenced by numerous factors. We have to make room for the universe to give us our desires in the way that works with universal laws. One of the affirmations I would tell myself when I was going through a really, really rough time is, there's something unfolding here of which I know not. I have my intention. I have my desire. I know what I desire. And all this stuff's happening. And I have to trust that there's something about this that I don't know, because why? I don't have the view of everything going on, this wild tapestry of this universe. I don't know how everything fits together. This is a complex universe. This quantum universe we live in. And again, quantum is a very limited word in my mind. This quantum soup, as Deepak Chopra used to always say, its unfolding is very complex, and it's influenced by numerous factors which we'll never know about. The most incredible genius we'll never know about. I saw Flash last night. What a bizarre movie to represent what is happening, what we'll be sharing today. And I'll tell you, I decided on this concept before I watched the movie. And if you haven't seen Flash, it's, he runs really, really fast, and then he finds that he can run to the past. And he starts messing with the past. And one of the great, beautiful concepts is, we think of life as linear, like a straight line. You got the past, you got the future. And his mentor, I won't share the punchline, used a dried noodle. He was making spaghetti as he was talking. So, the dried spaghetti, so past, present. And he says, and what you did is you converged the past and the future, which means you changed the past and you changed the future. And the way he described this is, you've got one line of spaghetti, and then you've got another line. So you've got now an X, and that point where the two intersect, that's the place where he kind of messed with the past. He went back into the past and shifted something. And he says, you didn't change this line. What you did is you created a new line. So you have now a different past and now a different future. And he says, but it's not even that simple. What you did is you tapped into infinite possibilities. And now you've just created this web of possibilities. And what he did at that point is he threw a bunch of cooked spaghetti onto a plate. No longer is this a straight line. And that's how I see the universe. the complexness of it is just like, you have this cooked spaghetti. So all the noodles are interacting with each other and they're all swirling, and you can't identify the past and present and future and all that stuff, because there's infinite possibilities, and shifting one will shift all of it. So again, this sets the foundation for our manifestation is understanding that we focus on what we want. We focus on our desires. We focus on our manifestations. But how the universe is going to get us there is not our problem. We're in the present moment. We take action that's inspired in this present moment. And we may desire something, and there may be a roundabout way that we have to get there. Why? Because there's a million other things that have to unfold in order for that to happen. So when I start to control things, when I start to say, well, I have to, go to this stop and then the next stop and then that third stop to get to Vegas, what happens if there's a roadblock? What happens if, the universe wants me to get there, but there's supposed to be an accident at the time I'm supposed to be at that intersection? What happens if, there's a number of possibilities that the universe has to maneuver around, and the universe has that eagle eye perspective? We don't. So when we talk about this uncertainty principle, we have to allow for the universe to do its job. We have to allow for God, whatever you want to call it, to do its job. And so that takes a bit of faith. And we talked recently about faith. I don't know if that was in our last, maybe our Millionaire Inner Circle. We talked about faith, and faith is the belief in the unknown. It's the conviction in the unknown, so that we don't have to try to go in and keep checking on it. We know that this is going to happen. And if it doesn't, then it's going to be even better than we imagined. As long as we stay conscious, as long as we stay aware, because this is not a permission to be unconscious, to go through life unconsciously. And this is not permission to be resigned to life. There's a difference between surrender and resignation. Most people think they're surrendering to God, surrendering to the universe. And what they're really doing is there's resignation there. There's like, I don't want to take responsibility, so you do it. And sometimes that's required because I've spent so much time controlling the universe. So there's a time and a place, but there's a difference, and we have to consciously be aware of what that difference is. That surrender might be, I tried everything, and now I'm going to give this up to you, the universe, God, whatever it is you want to call it.